Swear it's been 700 degrees in here since you came.
Hi, it's Jack Hodgins, welcome back to my channel. I had an email coming from one of my subscribers. He's doing an upgrade on his network. I'm not quite sure whether he migrates data or start completely fresh. And he's got current Dell servers, they're quite old, and he's having a few issues currently at the moment, hence why he wants to look at upgrading something new. So I'll give my personal opinion, my own views, what I would do in your situation. I read your email, so I understand sort of what you're currently having itself. So what I would do is I would keep that current system running, and I'll build two or three new servers, and I'll go the non-branded routes. It's much more cheaper, and it's obviously it saves money in the company. And this is something I'm doing myself, so it's not something I'm saying do it, but I've never done it myself. I'm actually doing it myself. I've got 6 servers. They're Dell servers. They're over 6 years old. They need replacing as soon as possible, and I already had a couple of them gone to pot. So I built a server like this that I needed to run. It was running like a it's running running an FTP server, and it was running another server on there. So this box I built was under 150 quid, cheap and cheerful. Means I can get parts really quickly for it. So power supply goes, memory goes, I can easily swap out. So downtime is minimal for it. It's running Windows 10, Windows 10 on it, and then on top of that is running what you call VMware Workstation Pro. That's £190 for a license. That way I can generate as many environments I want, but also it's limited to the CPU and RAM I have installed. So this particular box, 150 quid, well say 300 quid in total with a license on it. And this is a dual core processor, so it runs 2 cores, so 1 for each environment. 16 gig of RAM I've got installed, not this physical box, this is a duplicate what I've got. So the other one's got 16 gig of RAM in it, and I'll buy 2 of these identical, and then I do a snapshot each week, or when I make changes on here, it's snapshot each time I make a change onto this box. Runs a single SSD drive for the just running Windows 10 and the VMware Workstation Pro, and they've got a second one on there that runs the virtual environment files, because they're constantly writing. Now it's important to make sure the SSD drives are running the same speed, so the read and write speed is the same. So the ones I use are Kingston SSD drives, and they're constantly writing at 500 megabytes per second read and write. So it's identical, because obviously when you've got a virtual environment running, it's constantly writing to the files all the time on the drive. So you have an SSD drive super fast, does the job. So if you want something a bit more pokey than this one, I would suggest, which is what I'm doing at the moment, because I've got a file and print server, and I also got an Exchange server I run here as well for testing, and I use my emails on it as well. So I need something a bit more meaty than this box here. So that does the small ones. So for you, I would suggest to buy a motherboard. Doesn't matter about the brand, because brand's not important, it's just what the motherboard can do. So I'm not worried about what sound chips on it, because it's relevant to a virtual environment. So all I'm interested on there is, does it run a decent processor, and also does it hold a lot of RAM. So this one I've chose the FS chip on here, which is the AMD. So that's the Intel version, and this is the AMD version. Now this one will run the AMD right up to the FX 8 core, or even a 12 core. I think it's 12 thing, I can't remember exactly, but it'll run more than 2 cores at least. It's cheaper. So running an 8 core Intel version on this box here will cost me, just for the CPU on its own, 1500 quid. So it's expensive. So that's a no-no for that box. So for this one, running the equivalently same as that one, it's a lot cheaper. I think it's half the price, or even less than that. So that's why I chose this board here. This board also supports 32 gig of RAM, and obviously the processor I require. So this is ideal for building a file and print server, an Exchange server, and a SQL server all in this box here, because then you can share the processors. Like you can share the memory, you can share the CPU power between all three, make them lovely, super fast and super quick. I would add additional RAID card in this box here, which will run 4 drives, 4 1TB SSD drives, so it creates 1 volume, and it's a super fast volume, and that's where I'll store all my virtual environment files on. Then I have a single SSD drive in here, or even 2 additional SSD drives that are connected on board of the controller here, running Mirror, which is then Windows 10 and the VMware Workstation Pro on. so it keeps them separate then, so it keeps the data volume separate to the boot volume. So if I have any problems with the boot on this, I can just whip the SSD drivers out, put the new ones in, and then start again. I would duplicate this so you can build 2 of these. Once you've got the 2 servers built, then you can use one server as the main server, which currently runs day to day, and then you can either do, it's a good thing about that, you can then do snapshots, regular snapshots, whether it's weekly or daily snapshots, onto the other box. So if something happens to this box, you can power this one up knowing it's completely current, up to date. You might lose, depending on when server goes down, you may have an hour difference between it, but if you're running a backup drive on the box, running every hourly, it depends how much data you've got. If you've got a small amount of data, if you've got under a terabyte of data, you could run a backup hourly on it if you wanted to. Then that way, if something happens during the day, you've got the most current data right up to, you might miss the last half an hour or so. That's better than hours or days worth of work. Other than that, you can just stick to a daily backup, simple as that. Most companies do a daily backup. So daily backup on the data only, snapshotting all the hardware builds onto that box, you've got a current system really up to date. Then that way, another good thing about it is maintenance. So if you need to bring a box down and do maintenance, like update the virtual workstation, you want to do it during the day, you don't want to come in during the night and stuff, do it in your own time, then it's easy. Snapshot it, move the users to that box, bring that box off the network, do your maintenance, put it back online, and then snapshot back to that box, bring the users back over, and you're back online again. So you're swapping users backwards and forwards. It's hardly downtime, it can be done all during your working hours. Nice and easy. So that's what I would suggest to do. Once you've got the 2 boxes built, I can give you a rundown of spec and give you a list of what you need to buy, so you're not quite sure what to go for. I can spec it all up for you. So you was talking about a consultancy fee. I'm after something for my channel, so I'll put the link below for you. So if you purchase that, that'll be my payment for doing all this for you. I'm happy to remote in once you've got these built, so I'll go from speccing it for you, what components to buy and where to buy them from. Once you've got it in there, then you can then put it in, build it all up. Once you've got Windows 10 loaded onto it, I'll then get you to install TeamViewer. Give me the TeamViewer numbers and passwords. I can then remote into both boxes, and I can get them all set up for you. You can watch while I'm doing it. The good thing about TeamViewer, you can see me access it. I can't stop. You can't with TeamViewer. You can't block what you can't see the other end. Some remote control software you can blank the screen so they can't see what you're doing, but TeamViewer doesn't. So that way I can use the tool. So as long as your internet bandwidth is really good your end as well as my end, I can also comment over what I'm doing, so you can hear me. We can talk to each other while it's happening. So you can use it as a training tool as such, learn as I do it. So I'll have you set up. So things I will need from you is usernames, list of usernames, so send that to my email address that you already emailed me on. So I need their full names. So if we're running an exchange, we need to know their full names. Then we can set up, so we can literally keep the old system running, start building the VM environments here, get all the usernames set out. And this is a good time to sort out your data. So if the data's all like mixed mash, it's been like for years, no one's tidied it up, it's a good time now to start tidying it up. Maybe look at the way the folder structures work, the way the map drives work, and the login scripts and things like that. So you can do that on a new system then. So we can do all that really nice and tidy. And then we can migrate over, and I'll happily support you all the way through it until the end and afterwards as well. So yeah, so if that's helpful, give me a shout, send me an email, and we'll get this going for you. So I hope this is an eye opener for everyone else out watching. If you in a similar situation need help and support, give me a shout, and I'll happily do the same thing I'm doing for this guy here. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Remember to support my channel by clicking subscribe down here or down there somewhere, and also like the video. And I'm going to start putting links at the bottom to products I test and do where you can buy them. They will go to an Amazon site where you can purchase stuff from. So every time you click on that link, it will make me a small bit of money, revenue, that I can help keep making this channel happen. I've got so much stuff up here that I need to get out onto videos, and it's a good learning curve for you guys as well. We've got lots of stuff happening and coming up. I know I haven't done some for quite some time on here, just that I'm building products in the background to work with and show you new stuff. And I've got these TP links that's behind you to show on creating a wireless network. So there's been many questions on that as well. So anyway, guys, thanks for all your subscribes, all the new subscribers, all the new likes.
I could swear that this room has been running out of air, and now it's starting to spin. You make me feel kind of bad,